Welcome everyone to the Moisky News for May the 22nd, 2020. Before we start, there is a political recap stream on this channel tonight, 9:30pm GMT. I will of course then address PMQs from Wednesday that I didn't do yesterday. Sorry about that, by the way. I had some family engagements that took priority. So today we're going to talk about the Scottish lockdown. Because as everyone knows, Nicola Sturgeon has her own way of going about this and decided not to be in alignment with the United Kingdom government because, as is well established, Nicola Sturgeon is a rather annoying contrarian. She has, however, published a 4 phases to get out of lockdown thing. But it is quite interesting to look at, with a number of proposals fitting within each phase depending on the level of severity when it comes to TEF virus Chan. So what are those phases? Well, much like Marvel, Phase 1 is the origin story, which allows people to meet outside. It was trending on Twitter, by the way. It fascinated me. I thought it was something else. With people from one other household being able to meet people outside. Schools will reopen on August the 11th, but Nicola Sturgeon would prefer a blended model of school and home learning. Teachers will also return to work with transition support being given. Phase 1 has another name, Virus Not Yet Contained. Just thought I'd throw it in there because Phase 2 is called Virus Controlled. I'm almost certain I won't be the only person that notices the odd twist there where once the people were being controlled, now it is the virus. Right, because as is established, humanity has a great track record controlling viruses. Larger groups can meet under Phase 2. Construction, factories, warehouses, laboratories, small shops can all go back to work. Also, professional sports can begin again, which is fantastic news. Although I'm almost certain since a lot of it requires ticket stubs and sales, it might be a bit difficult to facilitate. So Phase 2 is virus controlled. Phase 3, which sadly is not called Infinity War, is called virus suppressed. People can meet people from more than one household. Yay. Non-essential offices can open, along with gyms, museums, libraries, cinemas, large shops, pubs, restaurants, hairdressers, and dentists. As is well established, it's unlikely the Scots will ever go to the dentist anyway. Live events would happen with restricted numbers. Again, another industry that might suffer because they require more people to attend to buy that damn merch. The part about this that I've already noticed that intrigues me is that this is done intentionally to diverge from the UK government's 5 phases, where things like gyms and pubs would be the last thing to open, solely because Scotland thinks they know best. Now granted, the UK has made a number of mistakes as a government, and that will all be made very clear and public once the inquiry has been done after this has been dealt with. But as I said earlier, to be contrarian as contrarian can be, Nicola Sturgeon must have her own ideas. So Phase 3 is virus suppressed. Phase 4 is called virus no longer a threat. I'd rather call it Phase 4, the Karen saga. Unis and colleges can open in full. Mass gatherings are permitted. LOL. All workplaces are open and public transport is back at full capacity. The funny thing about all of this is, I have to throw it in here now. People aren't liking the fact they're being controlled. Now, if you are American, that's understandable because you have rights because of your constitution. We in the UK don't have that, which is why we struggle to take the stance you have because you're luckier than us in that regard. Although we still can't call you the best democracy in the world. Seriously, your Congress is a mess. But it is very interesting that these kind of rules and, let's say, this kind of control has to be done in phases, because I can imagine it being brought back for any other type of, air quote, pandemic. You can call the coronavirus whatever you want, really, and I'm sure there are some that are more black-pilled who take the stance of, yes, but influenza, come on. Sure, we can certainly debate that as well. But as time has gone by, I have to concede, even with the social distancing measures and all the other restrictions in place, the numbers aren't going down as much as anyone would have hoped, which is a damning statement. And because it's taken so long, understandably, to try and find a cure when there isn't one yet, but there are tests being done on possible cures, this long-term damage is making me worry that perhaps the country's going to have to go back to 2010 and start again when it comes to repairing things like the economy. But at the same time, while it tries to repair the economy, try and find a way to bolster the NHS, because even under the strain it's under normally, it still struggles now, although it is good to know the Nightingale hospitals aren't in full use. The situation with the 4 phases from the SNP get reviewed every 3 weeks like the UK's, and will phase gradually to match the changes in the climate. While one could commend the SNP for coming up with a plan, the cocking up of the testing and the intentional contrarian attitude towards working with the UK government just makes this all look like one massive virtue signal and to be different cause. But I'm intrigued to know what you all think. Please do let me know in the comments down below.